Now it started the same way it did last week, which was wrong. There's something wrong. Like either I'm like fucking stupid or I don't know. I don't know. Yes. All right, we're live. Thank God for that. Oh dearie me! And now no one knows that we're in here because I had to end the other live stream. I did the exact same thing last week. Hey now. Yeah, sorry. What is wrong with this damn? Is it just me or is it the YouTube app that makes me like fucking mess it up every single time? So dumb. So dumb. What is going on with this? Damn, I swear. It's the same thing. I have an issue with it every week. So, yeah, it's working now, guys. Sorry. I every week when I go to set up the live stream and like plan the stream, it says do you want to film vertically or horizontally, and I always pick horizontal. And then when I go live, it says you need to go vertically, otherwise it won't work. And it's like this is not what I picked though. I picked to go horizontally, and then when I move my phone, it's like instantly starts going live, and it's like horizontal. Um, it's weird. I don't know. I thought I was good with technology until I tried to work out the YouTube app, and I realized very quickly that I'm not good at it at all. Hey everybody, how you going? What's up, James? What's up, Jeremy? What's up, Adam? How you doing? How you doing, everybody? All right, let's get the music going. You know what time it is. You don't need a clock to know what time it is. Let's go! My beautiful music for you all. Alright, I'm crazy enough to come back because Boomer Connor back again. I guess so. It shouldn't be that difficult. I swear, I'm doing it the same way I did it every single other time. And it was only in the last, like, 2 streams I think I did that it just started, like, fucking up. And it's actually low-key pissing me off. By the way, it's so hot today in Perth. Like, literally. It's like sweltering. It's sweltering. I'm gonna, like... This makes me feel good when I... Yeah, I've got to make sure you smell good during the heat. So what I love about Christmas, you get like 6 cans of deodorant and you get like aftershave. It's like I get one good one and one like reasonably priced one. And the reasonably priced one I use at work, and the one that's like really expensive I'll use on like the weekends and stuff. You do look hot. Thank you. I hope that's in the I don't know what sense you mean by that, but I do appreciate it. You know, it's funny because I said last week we're moving. I have everything in like boxes ready to go. There's like piles of clothes everywhere, and I have my box of stuff that I got for Christmas. And one of the things I've got, as a Connor's so hot right now. Thank you, everybody. My God, look at you. Is it the light that makes me look hot? I don't know. Look what I got here, right? I am 26 years old, by the way, and I have a English cricket teddy bear that wears a beanie. I meant due to the heat, lol. Yeah, I know. I'm only playing. Isn't that cute? That's the cutest thing ever. I also got this. Hold on. It's not officially Lego because I think they'd get sued if they did it and it was Lego and called it Lego. But I got this 3D English cricket ball, which is consistent of 826 pieces, by the way. So there's a better look at it. Isn't that insane? 826 pieces. When I'm finally in the new house, I'll start building this. It feels like when I get into the new house, I can finally start living my life again. Because right now, everyone in my family and myself are like going insane because we're between 2 houses and I'm between jobs as well, pretty much. I mean, my days at my current job are numbered. It's about to go down, baby. It's about to go down. I'm gonna be stepping into a new job. You should name the bear Jimmy. Yes, let's call it Jimmy after the GOAT Jimmy Anderson. Yeah, it's cute, hey. It's a shame how terribly the England women are doing in the Ashes. I've watched all 3 matches so far, and literally, like, generally, the best team has been winning. In like, if we're talking like skill, Australia are just so much better, and it makes me so mad. And I'm like listening at work, and I'm getting so pissed off because I'm hearing about like how it's like, oh, look at that, they just got someone else out, and I'm like, fucking hell, can they not win one game? This is 3 ODIs now they've lost. And here's the thing, right? I think there's 3 T20s and 1 Test match. And literally, if England lose any one of those matches coming up, they've lost the Ashes. They've got to win all 4 in a row after losing 3 games in a row. So, thank you, Women's Ashes. You've been making me feel so happy. Have you got a job lined up? That's exciting, man, says Jeremy. I'm looking at going into support work. I don't necessarily have a job lined up per se, but I'm thinking of why are you so sweaty, says Jimmy. Well, it's fucking hot here today, Jimmy, you twat, who I was literally just on the phone to. Because I'm hot, man. Always nice to beat the Poms. Well, yeah. I'm actually going to the cricket tomorrow. I'm watching Scorchers versus Adelaide Thunder. Is that what they're called? Adam, you can tell me. You're from Adelaide. But yeah, I'm going with my dad. It was supposed to be like a happy day out, but I feel like we're both just so like exhausted, and I think we could both do with a bit of a payday. So, yeah, I'm looking at Adelaide Strikers. That's it. I'm looking at going into support work, and I have a place that I want to apply to, and it's a place where my best friend Dan used to work before he went private doing support work. And from what I hear, they are like excited to accept more males because a lot of women do it, but not a lot of men do the support work. And some clients prefer to have like male carers rather than like female. Jimmy says, what are you worried about? What, just in general? I don't know, a lot of things. This is just such an undecided time. I've never felt so alive in a bad way. I've never felt more human than I have right now. I mean, like, moving house, getting a new job. I'm not to get too personal, but I'm back on the dating apps, baby. I'm like, I'm putting myself out there again. I'm ready for a relationship. Your friend though says I'm worried. Yeah, well, we'll get to that. I'm talking about Tinder right now, baby. It's new year, new me, baby. We're ready to rock, and literally everything that's like outside of my comfort zone, we're doing it. So, and as Jimmy says, yes, Connor, shut up about your personal life and start talking about Doctor Who. I will talk about it in a second, but there's one thing I want to talk about before we get into that. And by the way, stream will be shorter tonight because Dan's coming over to have a few beers, baby. Connor is the Rizzler on the apps. You know, it's weird. I think I used to be. There was a time, many moons ago, where I was definitely more good looking, and I definitely had a bit more Riz. And I think age and experience has and a few too wrong relationships has taken me down a bit of a dodgy path. Are you really worried, or are you clickbaiting us? I'm worried. I'm worried about Doctor Who. Listen, all right. Okay. Someone before on the previous stream, before I had to restart again, was like, I'm sick of titles like this, and this is why I don't watch these videos, something like that. Listen, right, I'm just here to entertain. I'm just trying to like make a good thumbnail and title. I made that thumbnail at work when I should have been working, so, you know, you're welcome. There's been a similar problem with primary school teachers, too few men. Well, there you go. We're about to change it up a little bit. I've helped him revamp his apps, and I'm telling you, he's gonna be rolling in it. Jesus. Yeah, Jimmy did help me with my. I support my friends. Thank you, Jimmy, for the super chat. Yay! Thank you for the $2. Thank you. We do appreciate that. Stephanie says, be careful on dating apps. Narcissist experts warn that they are hunting ground for narcissist-seeking victims. Yeah, well, I don't doubt that for 1 second. It's funny. I don't want to be using dating apps, but at the moment, I just work with my dad and a 77-year-old man. So I don't meet women at work. And when it comes to my social life, I'm quite hermetized. I don't really like leaving the house much. I love watching YouTube and TV and movies, and when I have friends over, I just like to sit on my balcony and drink beers, or go down to like the rocks and drink beers, or I'll go to the pub once a week, but that's on a Wednesday, so Oz Chris in the chat, my boy, our personal bag carrier. Sup gents, what are we chatting about? The lack of Jimmy on our channel. And then and then Jimmy's response is, don't start Chrissy, it's 2 a.m. here. I want to join the pod, but been very busy. Listen, I tell Jimmy all the time to go back on the podcast because, I miss it too. I tuned into the Madman with a Box podcast. By the way, I didn't know the Pixel is engaged. So congratulations. I found out live on the show. No one told me. So, Adam says, I met my wife on RSVP. You got this. Yeah, I met my two of my last girlfriends were from, no, not two, one. One was from Bumble. And we're not together anymore, but we're still friends. So it does work, I guess. Jeremy says, dude, it's so hard to meet people. If I hadn't met my wife at uni, I have no clue where I'd have the opportunity to even talk to anyone, lol. Yeah, I feel like the older you get as well, it's like, the older you get, the more like harder it is to make friends. And I know that's kind of like lame, everyone says that. It's a cliche though. It's a cliche for a reason. It's like, it's true. And I never thought I'm not trying to be like a narcissistic person that Stephanie's warning me about, but genuinely, I always thought I wouldn't really have I thought I would just meet people, and I generally don't. And I would think that I would meet, I guess not a lot of girls go to the pub. I need to stop asking out the barmaids who work at the pub. That's the main thing. Because that doesn't really ever end well. Just be careful not to rush in and identify if you're being love bombed, things moving really fast, or red flags. Stephanie, I really do appreciate that. My last relationship was like really shit. So Daniel with the super chats. At the spinning wheel says Aiden, it's all happening tonight, baby. We're here. We're live. Thank you, Daniel. And Mr. Scar's in the chat. Alright, I was about to say something. Aiden, leave the chat right now. And I say this with peace and love. This is a serious message with peace and love. If you are Aiden Green, leave the live stream right now. I'm about to talk about something that is a secret and you can't know about it. It is a surprise. I repeat, this is a serious message with peace and love. Aiden, leave the live stream. And don't rewatch it later either. So I've got an idea, alright? I've always thought what would be fun is to every month release a vlog of, so let me explain. All right. So in February, you'll get a vlog of January and everything we did in it. And it's the process of how we live our lives and make our videos. This might be a thing I do once and never do again, or it might be an experiment I do for 12 months and never do again. I don't know, all right? I just work here. I have no idea. I think it could be fun though. Like, yeah, a vlog, Adam, yeah. So a vlog every month of the process of making. Aiden, I said don't fucking watch it. Are you deaf? Are you deaf? I literally just said don't fucking listen to what I'm saying. Aiden, the whole start of the video was going to be me recording me telling you that we're going to do this. And now I guess this is going to have to be what it start of the video is. God damn it. But I thought it would be fun to be like, you know, I mean, I'm moving soon. I can be like, oh, I'm moving. I'm setting up like my new YouTube setup. But tonight I'm also filming at Aiden's, and I go to Aiden's to film, and just like, you know, I don't know if that's what people want to see. And, you know, something like I could be like vlogging before and after I do these streams. Look, am I definitely adding like more workload to something that already I don't have a lot of time for? Yes. But the whole idea of it is that it won't be, let's put it this way, it won't be anywhere near as like well edited as Aiden's Brisbane vlog. So please don't expect that. But what it will be is like little bits and pieces of days throughout months that just show us doing our thing. So in March, you'll get the February one. In April, you'll get the March one. You know what I'm trying to say? In May, you'll get the April one. That kind of thing. Like, you know, it's like you'll get it every like month, and it would be the previous month what we did. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm like tripping and thinking it's gonna be a really great idea, and it might just be very boring. But I think the whole like concept of like the behind the scenes thing could be quite interesting. It's basically like a BTS. I don't mean the Korean group. I mean behind the scenes of how we do our thing. And by the way, I might not even do it. I might say that's too much effort. I was going to start filming it last night, but my camera was having issues. So BTS on 50%, what a collab. The only BTS song I've ever listened to is with Coldplay, My Universe. And now I'll sing it. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first. Stop singing, Connor. Boomer's dog says I wouldn't know, I'm just a boomer. Dog, I heard you quit Sensesphere. I'm very sorry to hear that. Doug, you're such a great character in the 50% lore. Doug last week was constantly now sing Robbie Williams. And now the end is near. Doug is in the chat last week, non-stop asking me to go on this podcast. And then he sends a comment through on like an old podcast episode saying that he quit. And I hope I'm allowed to talk about it. But also you did post it on like a public forum, so you know. That's Sinatra? Yeah, I know. Doug, tell me what happened. I want to know. Like, all last week, you were saying that you want me to come on. All good. Tell me, Doug. I hope nothing bad happened. And I promise we'll get into the main topic soon. The main topic is pretty simple. It's just that I'm not excited about Doctor Who. Hence why I'm talking about dating apps and vlogs for the first, 20 minutes. I'm just not very excited for Doctor Who. You can still go on. Well, the thing is, Doug, I was gonna go on because you're on it. I don't really know anyone else. Here's the thing, right? I don't want to sound like a big shot at all, but sometimes people do ask us to come on their shows, and I get a little bit nervous when I don't know people as well. I'm down to do it, but yeah, I'm just a bit, nervous. Found it hard to get excited about Doctor Who every week. Well, Doug, that's my title. You got it. And when people come in this chat like Jimmy and say we don't talk about the title, well, here we are talking about it. Doctor Who isn't that very interesting at the moment. And to tell you the truth, the only reason I'm doing this stream right now is because last week was so fun And I mean, I felt like I was losing my mind a little bit on it, doing a 3 hour stream, but it was really fun. And I love talking to you guys. And the 50% is in the name. So if we get a little bit off track, who's counting? And they're live streams anyway, who cares? They don't even show up on like the main feed of the channel. You have to click the live stream tab for them to pop up. Stop being fun. Look, I understand what you mean. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are times when we go to film 50%, and it's like, why the fuck are we doing this? Like, there's nothing to talk about. We're like, maybe not both in the mood. And it's hard. I get it. Like, it's not easy. It can get a little bit intense, particularly when you're just not really feeling it at the moment. But also Chris says here, yeah, I feel you. Given what we've gone through so far with R2D being back, I'm very cautious about Series 15 slash Series 2. Nice little voice break from me there. Well, yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, there's next to no hype. Like I keep saying on the podcast, the problem is like I feel like if I talk about it too much, I'm like, I want to be making content. I want to be generating content, as Russell says. But it's like I just feel like I'm just repeating myself. Like I'm gonna say the same thing I've said 1,000 times. Like if Doctor Who Series 2 is gonna air in April, around Easter, why didn't they just put that on the teaser trailer? It's just silly to me. You know. Stephanie says, could you be an occasional guest, Doug, or don't the SenseFear do that? And Doug says, Boomer Doug channel is still doing classic TV and movies. I need the views, say hello. You know what? Doug's channel is actually really fun. I pop in there from time to time and leave a comment. Dan says, Doug embracing the Boomer tag. I love it. I love Doug. Doug's such a funny character on this channel. I love it. It's like everyone's got their own like personalities. I kind of regret what I said last week when I was like, people don't rewatch these things. The last stream did great. Like, it did really good after the stream was over. And it was 3 hours long. And people still watched it. It was a nice feeling. Boomer Dog says, I could be a guest, Stephanie. So, it's good to see that there was no bad blood. That's the main thing. I'm going to watch Detox tonight in an hour. Damn. I mean, I can't blame you. Look, if I had it my way, I did it my way. I would like to do a stream at least once a week, but the problem is, I don't want people to get, like, shitty and be like, oh, why are you going live and there's nothing to talk about? I don't know. What I am talking about tonight, though, is just that I'm not excited. And that's the whole point. I need to get something off my chest. I'm not really enjoying Doctor Who at the moment. I'm sorry, everybody. And this is coming from a guy who... Hey, Mr. Scarlet, what's up? This is coming from a guy who has these two bad boys. Here you go. Who has these two. Alright? I'm a fan. I collect Doctor Who vinyls. Okay? Okay? I think I can complain about Doctor Who just a little bit. These are great, by the way. Do you know what I love about these? They make no effort to advertise them like the official Doctor Who podcast. Podcast? The fuck am I talking about? The official Doctor Who page never like posted about them. And they're legit, like, vinyls. I mean, this one opens up, it's awesome. See? And it opens up again. So cool. Like, the artwork is awesome. And this one opens up too. Like, it's so gorgeous. And it's from, like, the original design. There was, like, an OG copy of this, which is what Aiden has. This is, like, the repress, but it's the exact same with the photos and stuff. It's so cool. Just, like, it's like, don't you like money, BBC? Like, I would buy every series of this. I don't understand why they don't just do it. I don't get it. I genuinely don't. It's like, we'll give you War Between the Land and the Sea, we won't give you vinyls. Nuts! Alright, let me catch up on the chats. But I think they may be shitty with me for quitting, says Doug. Yeah, well, Unfortunately, sometimes, mental health comes first. Doctor Who, more like Doctor Why Bother at this point, says Oz Chris. Look, it's a hard time to be a Whovian, baby. It's a hard time. Oh god, I wish we were having better conversations about Doctor Who at the moment, but it just feels like it's just, I don't know, it feels like, it generally just feels like the end. Like who knows what's gonna happen next? We're just like, we're like a nosediving plane right now. And what will happen to this show? Like, will it just stop? I hope not. But if no new Doctor Who's coming out, do people even care about Doctor Who anymore? Like, if I don't upload to YouTube, do I even exist? Who knows? Not me. Stephanie says, yeah, I'm not excited at the moment either. See? It's everybody. This is someone's job to get us excited. Like, how many people want to write for Doctor Who? And these people get the job to do it, and no one's excited for it. Oh, God. When was the last time you watched an old episode? Sometimes it's good to rewatch to remind you why you even liked it in the first place. Rewatched Blink the other night, and it slaps. Right, I have this weird tradition of, like, getting a little bit groggy and watching Well Enough in Time. And by the time Doctor Fall starts playing, I'm like ready to go to bed because it's like I start it really late. But that's definitely, I know, and also I know Doctor Falls is like nowhere near as good as Well Enough in Time. It's still not terrible. I've definitely come to enjoy it a lot more. But I think the Well Enough in Time is just everything I love about Doctor Who. I mean, I spoke about it last week. The idea that it's a regeneration story and it's just bleak and depressing. Like, I love that. I just love that so much. Jacob, one of the goats, by the way. Jacob's been watching the show since like the first year. Like, no cap. Like, OG fan. Jacob says, I've got a Doctor Who I can't say that word. Only glasses, vinyl, which is just blah. Can I talk? Which is just sound VFX is used in the story. Very odd but cool for the collection. I'm sorry I butchered that so much. That is really cool. I know they have some of the classic vinyls. I wouldn't mind getting around them someday. The vinyls are like the only physical media I collect from Doctor Who because I don't really collect much physical media anymore. As much as I'd like to, I just don't have the space. Like, you should see my room right now. You can't see it, and I perfectly framed it so you can't. But it's like, there's just mess everywhere. There's just boxes and, ugh. Eventually, when I get my own place, it'll be easier. But who knows when that'll be. I'm excited for the collection Series 7. Yeah, that'd be cool. Aiden says, shout out to my Christmas Carol vinyl. Yeah, which is like $500 on like eBay right now. One day when I'm a gazillionaire, I'll get it. Oz Chris says, BBC be like, we'll give you a spin-off no one really asked for, but not the Series 10 soundtrack. Yeah, priorities, am I right? It's all about priorities. Daniel says, would you buy a Murray Gold vinyl of the 6-year specials plus Series 1? Fuck yeah. I would buy any, like, Murray Gold vinyl. I'd even buy the Sagan scores. Like, I'd buy 11 to 13. I'd buy them all. Like, to have them all would be sick. But they're just not doing it. They don't... Whatever you want Doctor Who to do, they just do the opposite. I'm starting to learn that a bit now with my old age. Have you ever been asked on Type 40, Doug? They have a lot of questions and occasional guests, and Dan always has an interesting list of topics to discuss or reviewing a particular show/serial. It sounds like Dan does a better job at preparing than I do for these live streams. I just come on here and talk shit. Oh man, I just remembered on the last main pod when you said about drinking beers and playing GTA, living the dream straight up. Yeah, well, that was during Christmas. That was the best, man. I was just like... that was so fun. I remember, it brought me back to this one memory I had when COVID was just starting. And when you had been around someone who had COVID, you had to self-isolate for like 24 hours before you got your test results back. And I remember I was just in my bedroom and I drank I was just like drinking beers and like playing GTA, thinking that the world was ending. Quite frankly, because that's what I thought at the time. I was like, this is it. Like this is the end of the world. Like we're done for. And I was like, oh my god, I've got it. Like what if it actually kills me? And turns out I didn't. But I was just like, okay, this is like the last hurrah. So I like it was just like smack like necking beers like tons. I remember they were called Hammer and Tongs. They were like these small beers that are one standard drink each. I think I had about 12, and it was brilliant. No one bothered me. No one could come in my room, which was perfect. So people would like knock on my door and leave food for me. It was fantastic. It was incredible, and I just played GTA, and like watched YouTube videos and drank beer, and it was great. So I recreated that at Christmas, and yeah, it was great. It was just like it was just like it's something it's like you get that one time at Christmas when you kind of get to not worry about work, and it's just so good. It's like it did wonders for my mental health. And like I didn't even go crazy on most nights. Like most nights I would just like have a six pack and just watch just watch YouTube and play GTA. Jeremy says, "Yeah, we should play GTA online sometimes." Now I'm a bit of a normie when it comes to GTA. I don't play GTA online. I literally just go story mode and play as Franklin because you get the special ability with the cars where you can go slow motion. Um, and that's what I do. So basically, like with Jimmy in the chat before, like sometimes I'll just like call Jimmy and we'll just like chew the fat, and I'll just like play GTA and have a few beers. Or if I'm not on the phone, same thing. It's just fun. It takes like life is just like way too stressful and serious at the moment that it's just annoyingly stressful, and I'm looking forward to a time in maybe 2 months where everything is like normal. We're in the new house. I've got a new job, and then we're on it, baby, and everything will be fine. Dan says if his name's Dan, you def trust him. Well, you got to. My best friend Daniel is weird in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. That's not me calling Daniel weird. That's his username. Me and Dan are hitting the biz tonight, and I for one can't wait. It's been a long week. It's been a hot one too. It's like today it's been raining, but also the humidity's been insane. It reminds me of like Bali weather. I remember playing GTA 2 after school, so good. The memories of playing GTA as a kid. My mum wouldn't let me buy it until I was like 16. And I got GTA 3 and it was like the best day of my life. It was the best day of my life. So insane. Just the memories, man. Jeremy says I haven't played in ages. I remember getting the flying DeLorean, then never playing again. Yeah, here's the thing, right? I'm not much of a gamer, but I'll go through stages of just like smashing a game. And GTA, I find every couple of years I just go back to it. There was a stage like in COVID times, like I was saying before, where I played it for months and then just stopped. And it wasn't until maybe a month ago I started playing it again. But it's like I know that map like the back of my hand. That's why I'm hesitant to play GTA 6, because I'm like, I don't know if I can be bothered like learning a new map again. What that game generally, like GTA 5, is like, I don't care. It's a 10 out of 10. Like literally. There are still like I've been playing that game for over 10 years. I got it the day it came out, September 17th. Can't remember the year. I think it was 2014. And I played it and just non-stop been playing it since. And that map is just, I know it like the back of my hand. So fun. I can go to places, it doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally I'll go to a place, I'm like, I've never been here before. Isn't that incredible? Like all these years, 10 years later, I can still find places where I'm like, oh, I haven't been in this, like, there's like nooks and crannies and stuff. It's like, I haven't been in this place yet. It's like nuts. And the amount of time, like the amount of hours I played in that game must be like astronomical. I don't even want to know how many hours I spent on GTA. It would be like embarrassing. Mr. Scholar says 5 least favorite films. Fuck. 5 least favorite. It would have been easier with favorite, but 5 least favorite films. Fuck, I don't know. Least favorite. I have no idea. Literally. I don't know. What's some movies? I don't know about least favorite. What's some movies I don't like? I don't know. I'm sorry. When it's live, I just go like numb. I can't remember anything I've watched or done. What's that line by Clara? It's like, you know how like when people say what's your favorite book and you forget every book you've ever read? That's like me right now. What's a movie? I'll say one movie I hate. What's a movie I don't like? I've never been interested in watching Dune. And I'll tell you for why. It just doesn't appeal to me. And you know what? Quentin Tarantino came out. I feel like Quentin Tarantino because I like Joker 2 and I haven't seen Dune 1 or 2. And Quentin Tarantino said on a podcast that he hasn't watched Dune 1 or 2 because he's seen David Lynch's Dune, Rip the Goat, by the way, unintentionally brought him up. And he said that's enough. And he loved Joker 2. So you're now watching Quentin Tarantino on the 50% Doctor Who podcast. And yeah, Rip the Goat, David Lynch, honestly. Twin Peaks, goated show. Rip the Goat. Adam says I'm currently playing Final Fantasy 1 to 6 on Switch, loving the old school pixel format. Oh, Dan would love you. Dan's playing games like all the time. Like Dan will mention he's been playing games and I have literally no idea what they are. I know Final Fantasy though. Jacob says, any other records you're after soon? My Mac Miller Balloonerism record is coming today and I'm buzzing. Good question. I have a record coming in the mail. Kid Quill 94.3 The Real, which is literally like, it's like the album of my youth. Like when I was in like my late teens, early 20s. I'm talking like it was like 20 years ago, but that album was like my youth. And he actually released it on vinyl, like finally. And there was like, I think it was like 100 copies. And I managed to get one. And I'm so excited. I love that record. There's always records that I want. There's a few. I don't know. There's my favorite album is Since I Left You, and I got it right here. Actually, I'll show you. It's literally right in front of me. Let me grab it. There you go. Oh, there you go. This is my favorite record of all time, and this is the 20th anniversary edition. There's a old copy of it with like a blue vinyl. And it looks great. I just kind of, I want to, and there's like an OG copy of it with a different cover. I would like to collect, look how beautiful this artwork is, by the way. Ah, stunning. If there's like, I want to try and get as many copies of this as I can. But it costs money, obviously, like it's just so expensive. Dan says, I was chatting with my grandma the other day and she reminded me of when she took me to buy GTA 5. Yeah, I think we all have stories like that, you know. I mean, my mum got it for me while I was at school. Crazy. I got the Harden edition as well with the steelbook. Dude, so good. Like, and now like if I do get GTA 6, I can just buy it. Nuts. Mr. Scar says, you're all Tarantino, you love feet then. Well, you know, we don't kink shame here at 50%, but no, honestly, I've never really been into feet. That's the honest truth. I'm sorry to disappoint you all. That's, you know, I'm always honest with you guys. Literally, someone just stopped watching when I said that. Was that the thing you didn't want to hear? Jacob says, did you rate the Avalanche's follow-up album? Frankie Sinatra was in my rotation for a while. So that's Wildflower, which I've literally got right here. Here you go, baby. You mean this, bad boy? Okay, so this was my least favorite of theirs for a long time. and I never really got it. I always preferred this album right here, which is We Will Always Love You, which came out in 2020, and then this record came out in 2016. This record came out in the year 2000. So there was a 16-year gap between these two records. Now, this one here, I always loved Since I Left You, and I always loved We'll Always Love You. But this always felt like the black sheep to me. Until, I think, early last year, there are times, like, I will always think Since I Left You is the better album. But there are times where this record generally is probably my favorite. I don't want to be that guy and be like, I have two favorites, but I love this record. Like this, like one day it just hit me and I'm like, I get it. Like I get it. And it's like with all their records, you should listen to it from like start to finish. And I love it. I love what they did. I think they took the right approach of doing a completely different record to what they did with Since I Left You. I love it now. Like I have this on like rotation all the time. I've listened to it so much that like I can't listen to it for a while because like I've just like played it so much. But honestly, like I have such a special place in my heart for this record. And I never thought I'd say this, but I actually like it more than We'll Always Love You, which I never thought I would ever say. Because when I first started listening to this, I still love this record. But when I first started listening to this, I was like, this is my favorite. But it's a good conversation to be having because they're all fantastic. Like they're generally just such great records. They all have their different. They have different moods. The thing with this record is it's like a breakup album, and I just feel like you have to be in the right headspace to listen to it. And a lot of the time, at the moment, I'm not. So, Robert in the chat, what is up? How you doing? I miss you insulting me in the chat, Robert. Please throw a few insults out there. I'm giving you the go sign. Go get it. Mrs. Gar says a sequel to one of my questions last week, an episode of each Doctor that you find overrated. Great question. Because this is a Doctor Who podcast, not an Avalanches podcast. Overrated from Christopher Eccleston. Here's the insult, you look great. Robert, you look even better. You know, it's funny, I put on Instagram that we're in this month's issue of Doctor Who magazine, and Robert was like, first time? I've been in it a few times. And I was like, well, great. Nah, I'm proud of you, Robert. Robert's art is low-key, like, fire. Alright, I'll go for every Doctor. Thank you, I washed. Me too. Alright. Eccleston overrated episode. End of the World, I know people really like it. I don't really. David, overrated. That's easy. That's gonna be Silence in the Library for Us of the Dead. Matt Smith, overrated. Matt Smith, overrated. That's a noodle scratcher. The Lodger, it's no way near as good as people make it out to be. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's Smithy, it's James Corden. And then when you watch it now, you're like... I always remember that episode being like, when I first watched it, I was like, this is one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever. It's like the coolest episode. It's like a hangout, like a buddy hangout. And now when you watch it, you're like, this is just shit. Peter Capaldi, overrated episode. Overrated for Peter... I think the Zygon Inversion thinks it's a lot better than it is. Dan said Doctor's Wife. Now, fuck Neil Gaiman, obviously. Here's the thing, right, with Doctor's Wife. Not to get too controversial. By the way, I blew the victims, by the way. But yeah, I would say fuck Neil Gaiman, but Doctor's Wife. I was saying this to my friend Jimmy the other day because Jimmy was a huge fan of Neil, was, and I remember when Doctor's Wife came out. I even remember before Series 5 even came out, hearing people be so excited about Neil Gaiman writing an episode, and I had no idea who he was, like literally no idea. And then when it aired, I thought Doctor's Wife was the most boring episode ever, and it wasn't until we rewatched it for the podcast and Dan, who left that cheeky comment, I remember Dan was a guest on that episode, and that's when I realized that I actually did really like that episode, despite who wrote it. Uh, so I won't say Daughter's Wife is overrated. Unfortunately, Dan, I'm sorry. Peter, overrated episodes for Peter. This is hard, man. I'm trying to think. I think Kill the Moon, people give that episode credit as well, and I think the message is just so lame. Oh, no, I already said Peter. I said Zygon Invasion, Zygon Inversion. I'll add Kill the Moon as well. Those are two episodes that just don't get the message right. So after Peter, we have Jodie. I'd say Kablam is overrated because, again, the messaging just sucks. What else is overrated for Jodie? There's a few overrated episodes for her, I think. Everyone treats that like Spyfall reveal like it's the biggest thing ever. And it's like it's trying to do what Series 3 did, which was actually interesting. The problem is, everyone, I remember hearing rumors that the Master was the villain of Series 12. And, Demons of the Punjab is overrated as fuck. I have to disagree with you there, Jeremy. I actually like Demons of the Punjab. It's so funny. I saw a guy today with a license plate saying like Punjab 6 or something, and I was like, oh, it made me think of that episode. Overrated episodes of the 14th Doctor. We do this every week. Overrated episode. I think The Giggle's overrated. People act like it's the second coming of Christ, and it's not. An overrated episode for Ncuti. I think Rogue is good fun, but I think people. Oh no, Dot and Bubble. People simp that episode, and I don't know why. And here's the thing, right? When it comes to this year. I keep saying next year when I talk about 2025, and I'm like, no, that's this year, buddy. When it comes to doing the W's and L's or like the year back perspective videos, I think I said this before. I'm really not looking forward to doing Dot and Bubble because whenever you criticize that episode, people just get so mad at you. Like our comment section was like hell. Like that was even Aiden, who comments don't get to Aiden. He even struggled with that. We were like, why are we even bothering doing this show? It was awful. It was horrible. I saw a YouTuber I like. I saw a YouTuber I like's wife who does YouTube. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but she did a video talking about like receiving too much hate. I don't know. It just made me think. I'm like, I hate to say it, but like, I don't want to sound like my dad here, but it's like, but when you put yourself out there, it's like, I'm not saying it's okay. I don't know the full extent of the hate she was going through, but it was like, it seems very like 2010 to do like a video to be like, I'm going through all this shit. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I haven't gone through all that, and when I do, it'll be worse. And I've certainly had moments where like I struggle with YouTube comments, but I think surely addressing it makes it worse. I don't know. My love to her, though, by the way. That sentence got away from me. That's a Blink reference. Robert says, fuck Neil Gaiman, but honestly, he did some really good books. Nowhere and Caroline are my favourites, but sadly, I can't be excited about anything new from him. Well, I think he'll be going to jail, unless he's releasing books from jail. I read that whole, article, and it was some really gnarly shit. I don't understand how someone can be so, like, what point do you get in your life when you become like so deprived? I don't know. Like, generally, I don't know. Like, was he always like this? Did he start to do this through fame? It's weird. Neil will 1,000% get away with it, unfortunately. Oh boy. Not even in Gavin and Stacey. About James Corden. Here's the thing about James Corden, okay? I can stand him in Gavin and Stacey. That's about it. But I think that's because when I started watching Gavin and Stacey series. It was series 2, so that was like 2007, maybe. So I do have like a connection to that series. Also, I think he's a good writer for that show, but I think Ruth Jones is the genius behind it. Like I always say, that Stephen Merchant is the genius behind the UK office, and Ricky was more like David Brent, and Stephen was like the glue that kept it all together. And he also pulled Ricky back, which is what Ricky doesn't have right now. Fun fact. Starbeast is overrated. People are too blinded by David and Catherine's banter. Yeah, Starbeast kind of fucking sucks. I'll never forget that episode for what it did. Robert says, I love Dot and Bubble. Woof. Jeremy, Rogue is also mid in my opinion. I agree. It's fine. It's not terrible. It's like, it's nice to have another writer in. I think I found like another writer as like a breath of fresh air rather than just having Russell every week. It's like, get off your high horse, mate. Robert says, Jeremy, that might be true regarding Starbeast. For me, the episode is great, but I admit it might be mostly because David and Catherine. I could watch them read the phone book. Yeah, and then Jeremy responds, Robert, I really wish I Love Starbeast had so much hype going into it. Maybe that's what made it worse. Well, I think we all did. I mean, I remember waking up at like 3:30 a.m. or something to watch it, and like something just didn't feel right, you know? It just didn't feel right. And it made me very sad for a very long time. It still makes me sad. Rogue is Tumblr bait. Yeah, look, I think Rogue isn't terrible, but it's like, it's just a predictable story. And I think it's a bit of a highlight for Series 1 because it's different. And again, it's a different writer, but it's nothing really new. Series 1 as a whole is just pretty boring and pretty rewatchable, sorry. Pretty unrewatchable. Like, I'll rewatch them this year to do the 1 year on perspective videos. I don't know how long it'll be until I watch some episodes again. I'll always revisit stuff like Boom and 73 Yards because they hold a good place in my heart, but I can admit those episodes have problems. Which I don't really want to admit, but I mean, I guess end of the day, like 73 Yards as a whole doesn't really make sense, but I don't really care. I love it. Like, if Russell had like a banging series and had connected dots, beers, says Aiden. What are you up to tonight, Aiden? You doing much? Drinking Guinness? Probably. If Russell had connected all the dots with Series 1 in like a satisfying way, I remember like doing the 73 Yards review and being like, I hear people saying that Russell doesn't know how it would all wrap up in 73 Yards, and that's ridiculous. He'd never do that. Maybe he didn't. It's like, we were talking about Quentin Tarantino before. I think I used this analogy on the podcast before where like, he said like, you know, in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, it's like you can see the shining, like the gold shining, but you don't see what's in it. I think it's like kind of like that. It's like Russell will die with the secret, but does he really have the secret? And is it that interesting? The whole idea of the episode, I think, what makes 73 Yards so interesting is that you don't know what it's all about. And I think the reason why that episode worked so well for me is I'm a very superstitious guy, and I love the idea of an episode where like someone in one timeline just like got cursed. Like I'm like scared of getting like cursed or something. Like you're sometimes I think I'm living in a curse. I don't know. It's like, and I don't mean the Nathan Fielder and is it Benny Safdie or is it Josh Safdie and Emma Stone? That show, The Curse, with Emma Stone and Nathan Fielder. That was the fucking one of the weirdest shows I've ever watched in my life. And I'm not trying to get in trouble with the police right now, but you know, maybe no, I won't say that. But maybe there was a few enhancements while I watched that show. And I remember thinking it was like the weirdest show I watched in my life. Me and Dan watched it together. Dan had already seen it, and I was just watching this shit. And I was like, "This is the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life." Like, even if I was sober, it's a strange show to watch while under the influence. That's all I'll say about that. Please do not get me in trouble. Robert says, "For me, it worked. I mean, I was tired by Moffat in the end. Series 10 is fine, but just felt stale, and never could get into Chips. So that was first time in years where I just had simple fun at Starbeast." Yeah, I can get behind that. I know people say Starbeast is harmless fun. I get it. I'm just saying, it's kind of mid. It's like perfect for the 1 year on perspective that it drew with W's and L's, because I never know how I sound that episode. When I talk about it, I think it's shit. When I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this isn't terrible. It's weird. Jacob says, all we have is 73 yards and boom. I agree. Those were the best 2 weeks of my life. I was like, Doctor Who is so back, baby. I think Boom is overrated, says Robert. There are some amazing moments and concepts. Once again, sci-fi concepts saved by the power of love, and I hate that. Yeah, that ending ain't great. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Stephanie says, I don't think Russell had imagined the answer to 73 yards, and he seems to have not thought up good answers, resolutions to other episodes too, like he's gone lazy. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's what I was trying to say is like, if series 1 was a hit, I'd be like, no, Russell definitely knows what it was about. Now it's like, does he? Because his like resolutions to tons of stuff was just so shit. Jacob says, I think R2D2 will only make complete sense once it's over, especially series 1 and 2. It feels like we have only had part of the story and some of the answers more to come. My issue with that is, like, that's good, and I hope more answers are to come. My issue with that is that we don't know when we're going to get a series 3. I feel like Disney definitely would have already have commissioned a series 3 so they can get at least filming on it, so that when series 2 ends we can have a series next year, and they haven't, which obviously states that they're not too happy with how it's been performing. And you know, I would just prefer if Disney was just a distributor for Doctor Who rather than a like just another, it's like just another, it's just other suits just to talk to and be like, oh, this is what we're thinking of doing, and they're like, we don't really get the concept of this Doctor Who thing, and it's like, well, maybe you don't, like, so stay out of it. You know, I don't know. I what's the title again? I need to get something off my chest. I'm worried. Yeah, I am worried, okay? This TV show means so much to me. It's like my baby, and you know, it's like, I just feel like it's kind of going down the pan a little bit. And I, for one, won't stand for it. Connor for showrunner, did someone say? I don't know. It's just a lot, man. It's just, there's a lot going on with Doctor Who at the moment. We don't know if we're ever going to get what we want, which is just Doctor Who every year. Jacob says, does the Disney Series 3 even matter? The BBC will always make it anyway. I think the whole confirmed Series 3 thing online has been blown way too much. I get that. But if that's the case, it's like I just wish they. I just don't like this idea of like having to wait like 2 years for series 3. It's like people are already not excited for series 2, and it's coming out in a couple of months. And are we going to be excited for series 3 in a couple of years? Probably not. And you'd have to write his Doctor so different, like Shooty's, because it's like, are we going to acknowledge that it's been maybe a year or two since we've seen the Doctor? Will Shooty even want to come back? Like Shooty will. What's Shooty going to do in those 2 years? Like tons of other stuff. Like he'll have to take a pay cut going to the BBC. He's a super nice guy, so he would. I think he'd do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was like maybe like 6 episodes or something like that, and he's like, I'm regenerating at the end of the series, and passing it on to someone else, and God knows who else they pick next. It's like I don't know anymore. I'm trying to just like do what Jeremy said, and just watch old episodes of Doctor Who, I guess, and be like, this is why I love it. And I can still. There are so many things I love about the new series. Just like my main issues are just like they're just constantly there, I think. Robert says, I was disappointed with Series 1 when Series 1 ended, but it cooled down and I'm once again kind of hyped for Series 2. I honestly hope the Disney deal would continue because that's the only time I could watch the show legally and at the same time as anyone else. Yeah, it's true. I remember you saying that. And that sucks. Like, the show should be accessible, which is why I think it would be cool if they kept it as like a distributor rather than just like a co-owner of the show. Because if they're not happy with it, it's like, I don't know. And I'm not one of those like tin hat wearing people where I'm like Disney are to blame for everything. Like, I don't think that's true at all. Like, if anything, like, I think from what I've heard from their notes, I actually kind of agree with. But my main issue with it is just like, I just wish we knew what was going on. I mean, it feels like we've just been having this conversation every single year about like, is Doctor Who going to be on the air this year or next year? It's like, I would just prefer to know. It makes me feel more excited when I know what's actually happening. Jacob says, I have a feeling the BBC and Disney will take everybody by surprise and announce Series 3 plus 4 at the same time. Holy shit. Could you imagine? I'd eat my hat, generally. Where is my hat? I have a hat somewhere. Where is it? It's over there. Look. I have a hat, I swear. I would eat my hat. Robert says, I think there was BBC Edit saying that Bees is happy with Doctor Who. It's the most profitable IP and they want to invest more money into it. Yeah, Doctor Who won't be cancelled. I more mean like, I don't want this whole Disney Plus thing to just slow things down. I just want Doctor Who like every year. I'm impatient, I guess. Jacob says it costs Disney nothing to co-produce and has continued potential to grow. Yeah, well, they would take like profit from it, surely. Do you think Shooty will do 3 series and then out, says Adam? I do, yeah. Unfortunately, I think there's like some parallel universe where Doctor Who 6 seasons in a movie, says Jacob. Yeah, Community style. Look, still waiting on the movie, by the way. Do you think she will do 3 series and out? I think so, and I think if it was bigger than Stranger Things, as Russell kept saying, I think there could be a potential that he did more, but I don't think so. Unfortunately, I think that he'll just do 3. And can I blame him? Not really. He's hot commodity, okay? Homie did the Barbie movie, which is one of the biggest hits of 2023. Like, he came off one of Netflix's biggest shows. I'm not surprised that he's such a talented actor that I'm not surprised at all that he would be in more stuff. There's even that like Jesse Eisenberg movie at the moment with Kieran Culkin, and I heard Jesse Eisenberg saying that we wanted to hire Shooty, but he was doing Doctor Who. It's like people are always going to be wanting him. And yeah, I don't know. When I daydreamed about being showrunner, I would make this series into a sort of mini-series run that would be spread across the year. 3 episode stories that could also get edited into movies. That'd be pretty cool. Here's the thing: it's like everyone wants to be showrunner, and there's one person who is, and it seems we're all a little bit cross with him, especially me. I would love for Shooty to stay longer. We need a break, the 3 year rule, but also he has less episodes than other doctors, so it would feel like he was the doctor for 3 minutes. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, and I get that. The problem is, I think Shooty's just way too big of an actor. It'll be holding him back in his career. He's still young. Unfortunately, if you got like a lesser known actor like maybe Matt Smith at the time, like Matt was unknown when he was a doctor. I think you could do something like that. I would honestly love to see like a modern Who version of what like Tom Baker did, like staying on for that long. But you'd have to get the right person that the public loves. And the problem these days is, it seems like whoever you cast as the Doctor, people hate, and it's just like so hard. Um, even Peter had his like hate. People were like, "Why is there this like old man playing Doctor Who?" It's like, have you seen Doctor Who? Do you know what Doctor Who is? Do you know how old the Doctor is? I hate when people said that back in the day. I mean, I was ready for like an old Doctor. I really was. Um, I think that's why Peter is my favorite Doctor, is because it just broke the mold. Yeah, I would. I don't know. I think honestly, what I would do next is like cast a very talented unknown actor, and they would be available to do it. But it's like Matt went on. It's funny because Matt went on to advance his career, and his career didn't really start till like 10 years after or something like that. He tried, bless him, but it didn't really go anywhere. It wasn't really until House of Dragon that he kind of got. I mean, he did that Edgar Wright movie, didn't he? What's it called? Last Night in Soho. And I know he did that Terminator Genesis movie, which sucked. I remember being so excited to see him in it. I was like, oh, it's Matt Smith, his first role after Doctor Who. Um, but yeah. Alright, I've been going for over an hour now. I'm not going to be staying as long tonight because I do have plans tonight. But it's time to do the other 50, my favorite part of the live stream. So if you have any questions that aren't Doctor Who related, or you know what, you can even sneak in some Doctor Who questions if you want to. Fire away. I'll probably be on air for another 15 minutes, but knowing me, it'll probably be half an hour. So, oh yeah, Matt did The Crown. Sorry, The Crown was first. My bad. You're right. He also did Morbius. Yeah, but Morbius fucking sucked. Who watched that? Did you see the sequel, One Night in Hobo? Is that a joke? Is that a joke? There's no fucking way that's real. No shot that's real. Yeah, he did do The Crown. I remember my mum watched it and was like, Matt Smith is fantastic in it. And I never watched The Crown. I'm not like, I kind of hate the royal family, so. I know, shocker. Who would have thought? I watched Morbius once, it sucked. Yeah, well, Matt knows how to pick the roles. I'll probably start for like 15 more minutes or something. So if you want to fire away a few questions, I'm happy to answer. But it's Friday night, baby, and I'm ready to rumble and get on with my nap, baby. Just wanted to pop on because I had such a good time last week. So I really did. My favorite part of Morbius was when my boy Matt got a paycheck. Correct. Snog, marry, avoid. Marie Schrader, Kim Wexler, or Scarlet White. Mr. Scarlet, were you the one who was asking me about Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad last week? Because if it was you, because of you, I've started to rewatch Better Call Saul, and I just finished episode 4 of series 1 last night, and can I just say that show? I know I said it last week. Is an arc to triumph. It's the most unlazy show you'll ever watch. It's perfect. So good. It's so great. Yeah, it was you. Mr. Scarlo, I have you to thank. Generally, like, I am rewatching. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rewatch Better Call Saul, then watch Breaking Bad. I'll probably watch El Camino just to make it add up, even though El Camino is like, eh. And then I'm probably gonna rewatch Sopranos. But I will watch other shows in between. I'm on the last episode of Sweet Pea, which is such a stupid name for a show, by the way. Here's the thing, right? So I watched Better Call Saul last night, and then I watched the semi-final penultimate episode of Sweet Pea, whatever the fuck it's called. The drop in quality was astronomical, but that Sweet Pea show, it's fine. It's not. It's just. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's kind of just in the middle. IMDb was right. Let's just put it that way. All right. Snog, marry, avoid. Marie Schrader, Kim Wexler, Skylar White. Okay. I'm going to avoid Skylar. Sorry, Skylar. You know I love you. I would snog Marie, and I would marry Kim Wexler. Kim's the GOAT. I mean, she kind of goes down a bad path. Spoiler alert, but I don't know. It's like, there's that great thing about Better Call Saul. It's like, was Kim always that way, like Jimmy? Was she like slipping Kimmy? Or was she manipulated by Jimmy? Yeah, that's what makes that show so great. Robert says, it's Friday morning here, but I'm going to go to the pub later, so I raise a glass of Guinness or Murphy's to you. Thank you, sir. I really do appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Robert says, also, I plan to rewatch Better Call Saul. Sorry, I plan to watch Breaking Bad after Saul, but once Saul ended, I felt closure, so I never rewatched Breaking Bad. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, when Better Call Saul ends, it's like post Breaking Bad. So it's like, it'd be weird to like start Breaking Bad. I don't know, I kind of finally want to make my mind up with which show I like more. Because I think, and I don't say this in like a pew pew, like woo, like more action, but like Breaking Bad is, I think, more like explosive and faster paced. But Better Call Saul is just like that perfect slow storytelling that I've come to love over the years. And it's about characters. Russell, it's about characters. Who knew that making great characters creates a great show? And Breaking Bad, for me, I haven't rewatched Breaking Bad in a few years, but because I watched Breaking Bad like 5 times, and Better Call Saul I've watched twice. I think this is my 3rd time rewatching it. Which, by the way, like rewatching a show for the 3rd time is pretty nuts, from start to finish. But I remember Breaking Bad being like more like, I guess, like action based, and Breaking Bad is like groundbreaking. But Better Call Saul, it's just so its own thing. It's so great. Like, I just kept finding myself rewatching, and this is before Mr. Scarlo commented on it last week, even though that was the straw that broke the camel's back to get me to rewatch Better Call Saul. But there was like just so many times where I would just rewatch Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul clips on YouTube. I'm like, why don't I just like restart it? Like, why don't I just restart it? I have 11 seasons of TV to get through. It's so good. Mrs. Scar says, I prefer Better Call Saul. Only watched each show once though. Yeah, I watched Better Call Saul. I watched series 1 where it aired, and then I fell off. And Connor fell off, man. And then I watched. That's it. So I watched series 1 when it aired, and then years later I rewatched series 1 up to 4, and I watched series 5 and 6 as it aired. Series 6 was just like one of the craziest like shows to watch every week. It was just like crazy. Soul was an amazing prequel. Nothing is forced. Everything feels organic and natural. Glorious piece of television. It literally is. Like, it's the most like unlazy show. It's so great. It's like, it's groundbreaking TV. Alright, I'm probably gonna wrap it up there. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you know that I'm very nervous about Doctor Who and my unenthusiasm for it. I love you guys. I'll probably be back next Friday or something like that. I need to get this off my chest. That's it. Good to see you again. You too, Robert. And yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Thanks to everyone who super chatted. That's very sweet. Kisses. Yeah, you too, Robert. Kisses. Thank you for all the love. These streams have just been like really fun to do, and like I'm having a great time. So, all right, guys, have a great Friday morning, afternoon, or evening, and stay safe. I love you very much. Ciao, says Mr. Scott, and I say ciao too. Thank you for watching, everybody. Love you. Peace and love. Until next time, I've been Connor. I'll see you soon. I'll be back probably next Friday. I like the idea of doing streams every Friday. Like it kind of like, it's more difficult tonight because I have something on, like last Friday night. Last Friday night? Yeah, last Friday night I didn't. This Friday I do. But, you know, sneaking in a quick like hour stream or hour plus stream is like not the end of the world. It works for me, and I hope it works for you. All right, cheers guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.